We have Mary Keefe on today. She's running for the Worcester City Council. She is running at large. And Mary, let me ask you first, why should I vote for you?
Well, I think if people know me, and if people don't know me, they can possibly appreciate the fact that I've been working in the community for about 10 to 15 years as a community organizer. And the platform that I'm standing on is really one about neighborhoods, and that's what my work has been for the last 15 years, mostly in the Piedmont neighborhood. But I think neighborhoods are one of the best things about Worcester. We were just talking about finding and discovering those places and the things within our neighborhoods that are really interesting and part of the vitality of Worcester. So that's one, but the reason I decided to run was particularly because in the past, when we organized around issues, whether it be pools or community schools or anything that we heard from the people that was really important, we've been successful when we've had somebody on the council that was willing to work with us on that issue. And in the past couple of years, we just haven't seen it. And I think the pools is a good example of kind of pointing to this imbalance in our government right now, where we have a council that is lacking leadership and is kind of weak, and a city manager that in that void is very powerful. And I think that our government and our democracy is set up with the checks and balances to sort of allow for room for what the people want and need to be voiced, and that hasn't been happening. Around the pools, we saw this thing happen where we have been going through a process, going to committee hearings and turning out people to give testimony about the importance of swimming pools in our neighborhoods. And the committee never gave a recommendation to the council, and yet the city manager made a proposal and it was voted on before the process even was finished. So I'm just using the pools as an example, but I think that it's a good one of, the process really isn't working. And so I, in my frustration, thought, well, I need to be the candidate that organized people can work with, and that's what I'm hoping for, that I'll be somebody that people can look to and that I can help with the process so that there is room for the people's voice.
Let me ask you, what sorts of things have you done that would qualify you to be a good city councilor?
I think being a community organizer is a really great
And you've been
experience.
associated with the Neighborhood Network Center?
Yes, I was a founding member of the Network Center. And that's kind of an anomaly here in Worcester. It's a resident-led organization. We're a community center, but more of a resource center than anything else. We are not a recreational center, anything more than a place that people can come and get information or connect to an effort, hold a meeting, connect to other people that might be thinking about the same issue. So we're 10 years old this year. It's kind of amazing. And we grew out of a campaign that actually Joe O'Brien was challenging Vincent Pedoni for his seat a number of years ago. And Vincent came to us as organized people and he said, what can I do with you? What can I do for you? And that was where we got our first line item within the state budget, and that's where we started from, $50,000. So it's kind of interesting as organized people, to have somebody coming and say, well, how can I work with you, And I think that's really effective in a lot of ways, if you can, be true to, the issue and the cause and, be sincere about what you're trying to accomplish.
Now, Gabe Rollins had a question he wanted me to ask you, but let me see if these guys have any.
Yeah, my question is going to be really quick. I mean, any problems that you or I think anyone might be able to identify with the council, whether it be lack of ideas or creative ideas or a seeming unwillingness to listen to the public. Do you think that's intentional, or do you think that we just have the wrong people? And I don't mean to put you on the spot, don't mention any names, but I'm just curious, as a whole, do we have the wrong body of people as elected officials on the local level, or is it are people intentionally either not listening or not throwing great new ideas out on the table?
Well, I think to get anything done in the council, it takes 6 votes, okay? And nobody's pulling that together right now. No one. There isn't the leadership that says, okay, we need to work on this issue and we need to counter. You know, we need to push the city manager in this direction. So let's pull together and let's use our 6 votes to kind of leverage what we want to accomplish. And I don't see that happening. And so, you know, Tim Murray will tell you, it's simple, you know, 6 votes. And so if that isn't happening, it seems like there's no real gumption to sort of push back on the city manager, and he kind of, you know, assumes that they're going to go with him, and they do. So at least that's what I see. And, you know, I've heard it from some city councilors too that are kind of frustrated with the same thing, you know. So we need that kind of leadership. And also, I want to say this. I don't feel like it's Mary Keefe alone on the council that's going to make this kind of change. I think it's going to take several new people on the council that are going to be able to do this and make for the kind of change we need. So,
Tina, you have any
No,
questions?
good. That's actually was great.
Let me ask you this question then that Gabe had, which was, you know, we were just talking about, you know, the college students of Worcester, and a lot of people see it as a real problem that so many young people come to Worcester and then, when they're done with college, leave Worcester. And we know that Massachusetts as a whole has been losing, you know, in the 24 to 35-year-old demographic, just has been losing people. Is this an issue that's important to you? And if so, is there, like, what kinds of things do you see that you could do about this?
Well, I think it is, because I think we need that kind of vitality and that kind of energy and that kind of new way of thinking about our city. So I think what we were just talking about in terms of challenging our universities and colleges to get their student body off the campus and to be more engaged in our city. I know up at Holy Cross, around this campaign, there's a big move amongst some student leaders to get the student body engaged in voting this upcoming election. And I think that's just kind of the beginning. Also, and I'll talk about Holy Cross a lot because I know it probably the best. It's not my, you know, it's not the only school in town. But they didn't, up until a little while ago, they didn't even have the Worcester paper. Now, the Worcester paper for what it is, but there was the Globe and there was the New York Times, but there wasn't the Worcester paper. So, you know, now they have the Worcester paper. So I think it's on the colleges to start doing that. And, you know, transportation is a big thing. And I know there are other cities where, you know, you have a student ID from any college, like Providence does this, and you can go anywhere on their transit system. Or out at UMass, through the consortium out there, you can hop on a great system and get anywhere amongst a number of colleges. So I don't know if that, I mean, I know for a lot of students not having a car is an impediment, and Worcester's so spread out, but I think it's, you know, the familiarity and the access and the connection to our institutions and opportunities that can help kind of waken up Worcester as a place that is a great place to live.
Awesome.